There's a party in your head, I can see it. Your eyes, they tell me everything. And even if you don't wanna believe me, the truth is just too clear to see. You're fighting with the devil on your shoulder, 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 shoulder. And I'm not your enemy.
Okay, so this is the day 6 update of Desensitizing. This is a quick preview of his before, and then you'll see his after. Please remember this video was done so that I can go back to starting him without him being afraid of the saddle. So at the end of this video, you'll see his progress to the saddle. I will not be doing a before and after on that because there are so many videos that you guys can go watch that I've done with him in the saddle. I just wanted to do a quick, I think it's like a 1.5-minute preview of the before and after. And you'll see it in here in this next clip. I had a really tough time getting that tarp on his face. He was kind of over it and he wasn't relaxing. And he's like, why are you touching my face with this thing? And he just drug me back. All right, I hope you guys enjoy this video and I hope you see the difference that I see. Work with your horses. So another thing I want to talk about, a lot of people, when the horse is afraid of things, they just want to go straight into desensitizing. I don't always show it, but I always do some softening drill, whether it's picking up their feet to get them to pay attention to me, backing up. Here I'm getting them to flex. Yield his hindquarters, yield his forequarters. Make them side pass. You can send them through the fence, anything to kind of get their attention focused on me instead of all of a sudden there's this scary object coming at them, trying to desensitize them. So I'm going to kind of walk you guys and talk you guys through what's going on. I thought I had filmed more towards the other side of the arena, but I guess I haven't. So hopefully I caught all this on the camera, because if not, it's going to suck. So you guys will see his lunging's better. That was thank you to Blue Rock Horsemanship, who helped me with a couple of tips. So here I'm just working on some changes of direction and some lunging. Just kind of getting them to pay attention. So he's much better. If you guys go back and look at my other lunging videos, he's way softer, and it's only been 6 days. I think it's actually only been 2 days that I've been working on this lunging. So he still has a little bit of attitude here. He still pulls a little bit here and there, but you guys can see the line is much softer than it normally is, and I am very happy with that. I'm going to try and cut out I'm going to try to not cut out a lot in this video because it's about a 14-minute video, so I kind of just want to leave everything in it, but we'll see. I'll probably cut off me going to get the tarp. Now right there I got after him because I didn't ask him to canter. I want to perfect the walk and trot and get him loose on that line before I go into the canter. I want to make sure I have control at a lower speed, because if I get into a canter and I don't have control of the trot, but I need him to drop back down, then I'm going to have to drop clear down to a walk. Okay, so now that we're in the center, we're going to go straight with the hula hoop. Now, I haven't actually used the hula hoop the last 6 days. I've been using just the tarp and the shower curtain that I got from the dollar store. So I'm actually surprised at how well he did with the hula hoop, but I have been working mostly with his face because that's his biggest issue. Now, you can see he's much quieter than the before video that I added in the beginning. He's not at the point where I would say he's relaxed yet, but it's going to take him time to get to the point where he is relaxed. He's not just going to, after 6 days, cock his leg and go to sleep. Some horses will, some horses won't. But I am very proud of him. I just had to kind of bump his head back a couple times here, but he's not dragging me backwards. He's not jerking his head away. He's moving it away, but he's not like jerking it away out of fear like he did a couple of days ago, if you guys go back and watch that desensitizing video. Much better. And this is the funny part right here. It'll happen here in a second. I throw the hula hoop up, and it rolls right back and hits him right in the leg and just sits there. And I thought that was just so funny because he's just like, what just happened? And I put it through his front legs, and I pick it up and throw it under his stomach. All things that I haven't done that I didn't think about doing. I'm going to ask him to back just a little bit here, just so he can kind of process that. So it's not just one thing onto the next, and kind of asking him to move his feet now instead of staying still. Now the tarp, he's a little, kind of getting a little heavy on the halter, but that's because I've been working him for a while, so he's kind of like, dude, I'm done with this. And you don't have to work your horses before you desensitize. I like to, just to make them soften. And here I'm turning him so that you guys can kind of see. This is his worst side. So this is the side he nips on. This is the side he kicks on. This is the side when I touch with the saddle. If you guys go back and watch any of my videos, this is the side, as soon as anything touches his side, he flinches his entire body on this side. So I wanted to get rid of that. And you can see here, he might flinch once or twice, but the wind is pushing the tarp as I'm trying to keep a rhythm. So it's kind of just flapping all over, which is really good for him. And he's not as flinchy. Now you can see right there, he got high with his head and then he stopped. That's his kind of, his blue eye. So I kind of wonder if that has anything to do with it or not. But I am so happy and so proud of him. Proud of myself too, because I learned quite a bit these last 6 days. Okay, this side was really hard because the wind was pushing against me. But I wanted you guys to be able to see the full side view. This side, he only really flinches if you touch the flank. So I was kind of aiming for that, but with the wind, kind of hard. He nods his head a little bit with the tarp on this side, but you can clearly see it's way better than the other side. Now he does jump here, and that's normal. I put it up, and then the wind pushed it off, and then I shoved it back. So it was kind of like going above and rubbing him and then coming off, which is fine. I come over here and I tap. You can see he jumps just a tad, but not like he used to. Right now, normally he'd be moving away, flinching his entire body and dragging me. So I'm going to show you guys the other side. And I was actually really happy with right now because the wind is blowing. So it's tightening the tarp around him instead of it just being on there loosely like it normally is. Now I still kind of have to be on this side to get the tarp over his head. But again, that'll just be time until he relaxes. I can do it on the other side, but I kind of have to help him keep his head down. Here I wanted him to face you guys so you guys can see the big difference that I am super, super proud of. So I bring it up on his head, and if you guys will go back to the before, what did he do the second that the tarp touched in the before? Yes, he's nodding it, but that's because the wind's kind of shoving it in his face. But in the before, he completely backed up, and if you watch the whole video, he kind of dragged me around a little bit until the tarp came off. So I am super proud of this. I'm able to shake it without him moving. He moves his head up a little bit, but I'd rather have his head move up than his entire body moving. That's showing me that he's understanding what I'm asking. Like an Inchuan right there. Very proud of that. Okay. So the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to practice the tarp coming up on his face. And of course, the one time I need the wind's help, it's not blowing. So I'm actually really proud of this. I'd like his head low, but you know what? I'll take what I can get. He's not moving. He's not shying. His head's going up, but it's not like flinging up in the air, if you guys know what I mean. Now this side, he is kind of jerking his head away. So every time he jerks his head away, I just kind of get that rope tight around my hip and pull back. And see right there, he kind of looked over like, oh, it's not going to hurt me. So I kind of place his head back in the middle, hold my rope just a tad bit tighter to help him. And now I'm just rubbing his face with it. And you can see already he did so much better in that couple of seconds. You can see my rope's not extremely tight. It's just tight enough that if he goes to take his head away, it's going to put some tension. And see here, I almost have the rope completely dropped. I'm holding onto the tail end. But I'm going to correct his head, and I want it back in the middle. So he sees it on both sides. See, it raises, but that time he didn't take it away. He's actually putting it towards the tarp, almost to block it. I'd rather have him block it than kind of drag me the opposite way, because the blocking I can work on. I can work on both, but blocking's a little easier. Right there, I just flung it on him, and he's just kind of going to sleep with it. And I'm very, very proud of that. And it wouldn't be a video without Rylan meowing in the background. Pull it right off his head. Now, there. Good boy. He kind of raises his head when I pull it off, but that's going to be normal until he gets used to it. Alright, we'll clip to the saddle part. Now, as I said, the whole point of this whole desensitizing process was to get him to where I could saddle him without him spazzing out. So without him dragging me, without him taking off, without his body flinching. So I think this is actually backwards. I'm sorry that it's backwards, but you guys get to see both sides either way, so it kind of don't matter. So I'm just going to fling it at him a couple times. I haven't had the saddle on since the last video you guys seen. I'm just kind of tapping the dirt out of it. Don't worry, I brushed him before. I just didn't film that. I cut that out. Throw it up a couple times, take it off, turn him on the other side. Let's see if I can't get this video to not be backwards after this. And tap on it, pull it off, throw it on, pull it off, throw it on. I want to be able to do that on both sides without him flinching and freaking out. So, then I gotta grab the saddle. Okay, now I have the saddle. I'm gonna ask him to change direction. See how loose that line is? Way better yielding than it was. I'm gonna try and drop the rope. I'm gonna let him investigate. Another thing is people just, when the horse is afraid of something, they just want to get it on. I used to do that, and then I learned with Boog that, you know, that's not okay. So right there, he just kind of moved away, and I don't have a hold of the rope, and I just kind of went to flinging it, and then flung it on. You notice he jumps a little, but it's nothing like he used to. So the next few days, we'll be working on just flinging the saddle up and off, on and off. I actually didn't cinch it up, just because I wanted it to be just put on and taken off, because he still bucks when I put it on. So I kind of want to end the session on a good note. Instead of cinching it up and then him bucking and then having to work through that, I wanted to just take it off and let him know that it's okay. Now right there, he flinched. I don't blame him. I didn't get the pad straightened out. I had the rope in my hand, the saddle in my hand, and the blanket in my hand, and we're out in the open pasture. So I didn't want him taken off with the lead rope. So went back to the way I did it a long time ago. Flung it a couple times and then throw it up. Pop it up on there. I thought I shaked it. Yep. Shook some of it. I let him sit on him for a minute. And then I take it off. And that's how we ended on a very good note. Thanks for watching, guys.